girl, the sassy engineer. As many of you know, I like to share helpful tips about New Zealand as an immigrant. That's beside my travel experiences within New Zealand. I also share things you should consider when you are planning or thinking of coming over to New Zealand. So lately, I've been getting a lot of these questions. People sending me message asking me, can I come to New Zealand on an NZeTA even if I'm not from a visa waiver country? And I did a quick search and I've realized that many people have been scammed of their hard-earned money. Some people even go out to borrow money and are still swindled. And it's very easy to sit down and judge them and be like, it's because they don't read now. True, that is some people's reason, but that's not everyone's reason. As someone who has applied for different types of New Zealand visas, I understand that the wordings on their websites can sometimes, if not many times, be very confusing. So let me break it down for you. But first, a disclaimer. This is not an immigration advice. I am not an immigration advisor. So the information on this video is general information. It is not an immigration advice, but my own knowledge and experience as such should not be treated as an immigration advice. Visit Immigration New Zealand website for any information, and if you require advice in relation to any immigration matter, you should consult a licensed immigration advisor. I had to get that out of the way. As you would know, there are different visas you can apply for to come to New Zealand, and they're generally classed under visit, work, study, live permanently, bring family, or start a business or invest in New Zealand. You then have subclasses under each of these categories. The type of visa you should apply for will depend on your situation. And for whatever situation you're in, there's a different type of visa that would suit you. But we will not be discussing the type of visas and the in-betweens in this video. Rather, I will focus on NZeTA. Now, what is NZeTA? NZeTA stands for New Zealand Electronic Travel Authority. So it is a border security measure by the New Zealand government for travelers from visa waiver countries. It is not a visa and it's not a guarantee that you enter New Zealand. NZeTA costs $17 or $23 depending on where you choose to apply for it. Then you will also pay International Visitor Conservation and Tourism Levy, which is $35 on top of that. It can take up to 72 hours for your request to be processed. But hey, why wait? Apply early. To obtain an NZeTA, you must provide your passport details, your valid passport details, biometric details, contact details. You also provide information which will enable INZ to determine if you're eligible, as well as provide information about the purpose of your travel. Other things they will check is if you're in good health, if you have complied with the character requirements, if you have enough money to live in the country. So for this one, it is recommended to have 1,000 New Zealand dollars for every month you're going to be in the country. Then they also check if you have a return ticket out of New Zealand. Now, for this NZeTA, not everyone is eligible. And for those who are eligible, you can only use it if you are visiting, if you are transiting through New Zealand, or if you are here for a short course. If you're going to be studying for longer, or you want to work, or maybe you met the love of your life and you want to stay back, if you do that, then you have to tell me and let me know. Share the secret on how you can meet the love of your life for such a short period of time. Anyway, the thing is that if you're going to be doing something outside what the travel authority covers, then you would have to apply for the appropriate visa. So, who is eligible for NZeTA? That's the main question. And the answer is in the purpose of the travel authority. So, who needs NZeTA? You have travelers from visa waiver countries, Australian permanent residents, and cruise ship passengers from visa required countries who are traveling to New Zealand on a cruise ship. Now, the third part is what fraudulent agents use to defraud people, especially those desperate to japa. It is true that if you are from a visa required country, that you can enter New Zealand on NZeTA. However, there is a clause. According to Immigration New Zealand, INZ, when you arrive at your first New Zealand port, you'll be deemed to hold a visitor visa. This expires 28 days after the ship arrives at its first port of entry into New Zealand, or when the ship leaves, whichever happens first. So you have to check that you meet the entry permission requirement and are of good character. So what does this mean for someone from a visa required country? There are two takeaways from this. And these two takeaways are, if you are from these countries, you can enter New Zealand, but your visa expires 28 days after the ship arrives at its first port of entry or when the ship leaves, whichever happens first. Whichever happens first. The second takeaway is that if you leave your cruise ship to fly home or to stay on in New Zealand, you need to apply for a visa. So you see, if you're staying on in New Zealand, if you leave your cruise ship to fly home or to stay on in New Zealand, you need to apply for a visa and entry permission by completing an arrival card and presenting it to an immigration officer at the port. All the information you need are available on Immigration New Zealand website, the INZ website. And I give them kudos for that because they provide information. They don't hoard information. They provide everything. You just have to do extra digging. So you have a general page. And on that general page, there will be like, the general information. And there will be links to other extra information that they can't really fit into that one page. So you click those links, open and read. You know what you need to submit whatever application, and in this case NZeTA. On their website, you can check the criteria for the NZeTA. You can find out visa waiver countries, including transit visa waiver countries, and more details on arriving by cruise ship. You can also check the conditions of your visa. So as you can see, Nigeria is not among the visitor visa waiver country list. Neither is it amongst the transit visa or transit visitor waiver country list. So that means Nigeria is a visa required country. So to check your criteria for NZeTA, search for NZeTA on your web search browser, or you go straight to Immigration New Zealand website and search for NZeTA. The information on NZeTA page will pop up. Simply scroll to the bottom of the page. You'll see check criteria. Click on it and a filter will come up. Input as relevant to you. Then click view and it will tell you all about the criteria you need to meet. Click the drop down menus to learn more. Okay people, that's all about NZeTA. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it very useful, and please don't forget to share it with anyone you know who needs this information. Even if you don't know the person but they need the information, share it to them. Thanks for watching to the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay? Until next time, see you in the next video. Matiwa.